Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first growth empowerment session being brought to you by Mary, which is me from Alaska, and Azita from California. Our purpose is to share with you the growth journey that we've experienced as a result of becoming certified by one of the most influential leadership experts in the world, Dr. John C. Maxwell. We intend to bring you information that will help you become a better, wiser, stronger, and more powerful individual, both at home and at work. We're going to start this series with Dr. Maxwell's The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, because this particular book is what lays the foundation to helping create a kinder, gentler, and more compassionate world.
Hi, everyone. My name is Azita, and I live in California. Mary and I are very excited to spend a few times with you and share some ideas and principles that are changing our lives. And our hope is that they have the same impact for you. Today, we want to start our weekly session talking about intentionality and mindset. You know, I often compare our mindset to a master key because I think it really works like a key that opens all the locks and blocks in our life. But if you want this key to work properly, we have to make sure it's not faulty, it's caught and made properly with intention. So the same thing goes for our mind. If we want our mind, our mindset to help us solve our problems, and so we become successful in life, we have to make sure that our mind is made properly and is cut properly, is formed properly. So, so we can open the doors for us and solve our problems. Dr. John Maxwell, our mentor, presents this idea as the law of intentionality. John, as you might know, has trained millions of people and has changed so many lives by helping people understand that they do have to be intentional about using and growing their mind if they want to be more, have more, and do more in life. You know, for many years, I wanted to be more, do more, and have more, but I really didn't have that right key. I mean, that my key wasn't cut and made properly. I'm talking about my mindset. So because for years I was thinking if I get better at work and professionally, that means success and I become successful. And in fact, I was thinking that I was a good person with good intentions. So good things should naturally happen to me. Well, let me tell you, just having good intentions in life doesn't bring anything of value to us, because there is a huge difference between being intentional in life and having good intentions.
That is so true, Asita. You know, I had a mentor in the John Maxwell team that told me once that at birth, we're born perfect with a million dreams, but we're programmed to be, do, and act according to someone else's circumstances and conditions in life. So I did a little bit more digging and ended up reading James Allen's As a Man Thinketh. And in this book, he tells us that people are very anxious to improve their circumstances, but they're not willing to improve themselves. So they stay bound. That was me. That was me from my mid-20s until about 8 months ago. I was so stuck, and my intention was more focused on all the bad things that happen because it was just easier. It's just what we do in life. We focus on the negative. Let's face it, we all experience health, financial, relationship, and work issues. And so as I started really going down the path of self-discovery, I realized in order for me to be intentional, I had to view it as looking at why I wanted to do something. So for example, I wanted to take control of my health. I've not always been a very healthy person. Let's face it, I love my chocolate. I love my Twix bars. I love my ice cream. I don't like to sweat. I don't like to smell. And I don't like to feel pain after working out. But that was the old me, my old intentions. Now I look at it as, wow, getting healthy means that I'm going to get to live long enough to see my youngest child's child graduate from high school, which means 98 to 102 is how long I'll live. So that excites me. And so now that's what I look at.
Absolutely. That's wonderful, Mary. I really applaud you for this awesome decision, because now you're taking the matters into your own hands. you're planning and you're implementing, you're executing.
Mhm.
That's wonderful. It's very different from really hoping, good things will happen into my life because I'm a
Yeah.
good person. That's not going to happen. You reminded me of a quote from Jim Rohn, the famous speaker and author, that says exactly the same thing. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have likely planned for you? Not much. That's exactly what you said, Mary. I think that's very, very true.
Absolutely. If we don't design our plan, we're not going to be successful in everything we do. And, we have a tendency to just look at success from the professional standpoint. If we have the right job, making the right amount of money, we'll have the right house, the right car, the right everything. But what happens when we don't look at our personal successes, we let those roadblocks get in the way. And one of the things that really opened my eyes when I read John's book was the 8 growth gap traps that he identified. And the one that resonated with me was the perfection gap. I don't do anything unless it's perfect. I have to make sure I know how to do those exercises. So you YouTube, you watch the other people at the gym, you watch all these recipe shows, but it doing that did nothing for me because I wouldn't start. So getting out of that perfection and accepting that good enough is absolutely okay helps you jumpstart to start doing the right thing for yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So true. I have many roadblocks in my life, a lot of limiting beliefs. For example, I tend to postpone things, so timing gap is my issue.
Yeah.
I also don't like to fail. So I have a fear of failure. That's another roadblock. That's another limiting beliefs that is really preventing me from going ahead on the path of my personal growth. So I completely agree with you. We have to really overcome these roadblocks. And John identifies 8 of them. And we might talk about them later on, in next discussions.
Absolutely.
But one thing is for sure that there is a huge difference between knowing something and doing it. Even if we know personal growth is something that we have to do, and
Mhm.
we have to become a better people, a better person, so we can be successful. But it doesn't mean that we're going to do it. There is a huge difference between knowing and doing. We know a lot of things, but we're not going to doing all of them. So, but there is something that I know for sure, and that is what we seek is what we receive.
Oh, mm.
If I'm not intentional and I'm not receiving something of value, naturally I'm not going to receive anything of value. And the opposite is true. If I'm intentional and I'm looking for something of value in my life,
Mhm.
I'm going to receive it. Seeking is receiving.
You are so right. At the end of the day, it boils down to writing your own narrative. When we let other people write it for us, we don't grow, we stay stuck. And I'm sure our viewers have heard about this. The longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never actually do it. That's actually one of the laws called the law of diminishing intent. The universe is based on laws. And I never really realized that until I started my self discovery journey. And so it really struck me when John said one has to focus on preparing today so that one can experience success tomorrow. And it begins with what you believe. And so when you do this, you're not going to be repairing tomorrow. So with my health journey, because I've started repairing it today, my tomorrows are going to look much better than what my past did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You talked about controlling your life. For years, I didn't control my life. Really, somebody else was planning my life for me. And, it was always somebody else's agenda on my calendar. I was following somebody. I wasn't really planning for my life. And now I understand all of it. And, if we want to grow, it has to be our plan to grow ourselves. We have to be intentional about it. We have to plan it. We have to execute it. It won't happen on its own because it's not a natural process. Growth is not a natural process. We have to be intentional about growing
Yeah,
ourselves.
absolutely.
And we have to understand what these roadblocks and limiting beliefs are, and we have to overcome them. I think that's the only ticket to a better life.
I absolutely agree with you. When we don't when we don't take control of our lives, we move nowhere. Asita, thank you so much for sharing in this journey with me. I am so appreciative of our friendship and our growth that we've done. Even in the last 6 months, we've grown so much. And for our viewers, I just want to thank you for taking time to watch us and listen to us as we impart some of the knowledge that we have gained. That's what we want to do. We are speakers, trainers, and coaches, and we want to add value to your lives. So what we would ask is that feel free to tell us in the box below what your biggest takeaway was and how you'll incorporate what we shared into your life. And if there's anything else that you'd like for us to address in future airings, please let us know. So next week, we're going to talk about awareness. Now that we've given you some tips on intentionality, we want to help you bring into your awareness how you can be intentional moving forward. Asita, do you have anything for our viewers?
Wonderful, Mary. I think you said everything. I really appreciate you in my life as well. I'm honored to have you in my life. And, thank you so much, everybody, for spending a few minutes with us. It's our honor. Also, as Mary said, please let us know if there is anything you want us to do for you. Just anything, just ask us, because this is your program. This is for you. So just let us know. And also, feel free to share this video with others if you feel that there was anything of value shared here. And so I want to avoid that. I just want to say goodbye to all of you, and until next week.
Thank you, everybody. Have a safe week.
Yeah, have a wonderful day.